Hi, ladies. It's Wendy Michelle Thompson, and this is Ladies Chat. This is my daughter, Zoe.
Hi.
If you haven't met her yet, one of the previous videos, I thought we could start with a light theme with our playlist, talking about movies. Women are emotional creatures, and I know how movies, even TV commercials, can affect us sometimes. So I thought a fun way to kick off a way of getting to know each other and just start talking would be to talk about movies that make you cry. Now, it doesn't have to be a chick flick or anything like that. It could be anything that touches your heart for some reason because you have a pain or empathy for something like that. So we're going to bring up, between the two of us, some of the movies that we came up with off the top of our head. We seriously didn't think about it very, very long. So these are the ones that we thought of right away that make us cry, whether we've seen it one time or God only knows how many times. Please share in the comments what movies do this for you and why. And sometimes, are you okay with it? If not, maybe hormones could be affecting it. You know how us ladies are. Things can be different at different times. And so, anyways, we'll get started with my very first pick that I thought of, Titanic. Of course, the movie, the real story is a tragedy. And I thought they did such a good job with the whole storyline. And the Rose and Jack character, of course, we get so thrown into because that could very easily represent anybody that could have been aboard that horrible tragedy. But, the things that always make me cry, and I saw it in the theater when it first came out, and then I had it on VHS. It was on 2 VHS because it was so long. And I don't have it on DVD, but we're able to catch it quite a bit on TV. Zoe's seen it quite a bit. And she's my youngest of 7, and I've been trying to show her movies that have meant a lot to me and have been impactful, regardless of whether it was a happy genre or the exact opposite. But, of course, when they are finally in that ocean and they're freezing in the water and she's saying, I'll never let go. And of course she has to let go because she knows he's dead and all that. But in her heart, she knows she'll never let go. And one of the last things that he had said to her was, Rose, you're not going to die. You're going to grow up and be an old woman and have accomplished all these things in your life and just die peacefully. And that scene after, she's already told the guys that had been looking for the Titanic and interviewing her and everything, and after she'd already thrown the stone back into the ocean, I'm holding it all together until they pan across her bedroom and show all the pictures of the things that she did because of Jack's sacrifice for her life, you know. And she did die as an old woman. And that, I don't care how many times I see it, I know 5 minutes before I'm already gearing up with the tissues. What about you, Zoe? What's your pick?
For movies, the first thing on my list was Dumbo.
Disney movies can be harsh.
It's gentle, but it's very sad. They didn't have to do Dumbo that way. They didn't have to be mean to Dumbo just because he has big ears.
Nor mean to Dumbo's mom. If you saw that original cartoon movie, all the moms were waiting for the stork to bring their little bundles of joy, and they were all getting their babies, and Dumbo's mom was just waiting.
Mm-hmm.
And when she was so happy when she finally got hers, and when those big ears were shown, then the moms were already making fun of the mother. I mean, yeah, that is sad. I mean, I think any mother, any child can relate to that. Yeah, that is sad. Toy Story 3. Andy, the main character, he was like the same age as my oldest son, and he looked so much like him. It was insane. As the movie progressed, by the time they were doing the third one, Andy was getting ready to go away to college, and the toys didn't know what their place was going to be and what was going to happen to them. Even the older version of Andy looked so much like my son, and he was getting ready to go into the Air Force after he graduated. So he was even there still. It was a good 8 months before he left the Air Force, but I'm already, you know how it is, moms, as each one leaves, and each one is different, and how they leave, and where they go and whatnot. But I cried so much during that movie, and I think even had the character never looked like my son, it still would have closely connected to me. But he did look like him as a little boy, and then as he was getting older, I mean, I just couldn't believe it. Toy Story 3 is definitely on my crying list. And I'm not a crier. Let me just go ahead and put that right up front.
She's not.
I really, when it comes to movies, and all movies are going to manipulate your emotions one way or the other. They're not doing a good job in making a good movie unless they can do that. But the ones that make you cry, I have this little hostility against. And so I'm not one to be watching Lifetime or the Hallmark Channel around Christmas or anything like that. It's not that I'm a bummer on anything like that. I just feel like they just really tweak at your emotions so much. So I just thought it would be interesting and fun to start with, okay, what makes you cry? Because I know with our hormones and where we are in life, I know there were certain times in my pregnancies I would see those McDonald's commercials about the kids that needed, they had like a Braille school for the kids, and I would just break into tears. It just depends on what is going on in your life at the time and whatnot. But what's your next one, hon?
My next one is A Silent Voice.
What's that about? I haven't heard that one.
Okay, so A Silent Voice is about a deaf girl who gets bullied for being deaf. And later...
Bullying, period, just makes me sad and upset.
Then she grows up, and her bully re-meet, and they fall in love. Cheesy, but sad.
So it was a happy ending.
Well, yes, but it did make me cry.
Okay.
I cried a lot. There were scenes that made me scream and cry.
Guys, please put in the comments, whether it be movies, television shows, commercials. Let's have interaction here and engage and, get to know one another. All right. This is embarrassing to me to admit, especially after what I have admitted about movies that make you cry. But E.T. Now, I know E.T. is fine. He is gonna go back home. He's gonna be fine, but when they take him away and he's sick and he's all pale looking and, the little boy, I can't even think of his name right now. Shoot. Blah, blah, blah.
It was like Charlie.
No, Elliot. And of course, boys love Drew Barrymore. Little Gertie. She's like all sad and all that, and it's like, it's coming, and he's gonna be fine, but still, I cannot handle that scene. I have the tissues tucked down underneath my legs so I can dab and my husband not make fun of me,
He does.
What's yours?
Ghost.
Another one that I've showed her recently.
Yes.
What about Ghost?
Okay. Ghost mostly makes me cry because, well, number one, him seeing his dead body at first really surprised him, and he was just confused, and it was kind of sad because it was like he didn't understand that he was dead at first, and she was just instantly affected. And then he goes throughout the whole movie trying to figure out how to, contact her. And, whenever he finally does.
The power and the strength to be able to show her by simple things like the penny
on the door.
And the ditto. I mean, I have been in relationships, if you want to call them relationships, where they're not good at saying I love you or whatever. They'll say love ya, stuff like that. I can relate to that ditto thing. That right there is hard enough. Losing someone you love. I haven't lost someone in that type of relationship, like a very close boyfriend or spouse, but I have lost quite a few people that mean the world to me. My father and aunt and uncle and a few other people I've lost even though they're alive. And you know, that movie in general is just so sad. His best friend is betraying him.
Yeah, no, I forgot about that.
Yeah, but then there at the end, and he finally says, "I love you."
Mm-hmm.
And she says, "Ditto." And
I just the tears start rolling.
yeah, I mean, wow. Let's see. Forrest Gump. That one, obvious reasons. There's just so many things. I've always had such an empathy for children with disabilities and the things that they have to go through. And back in that time, there wasn't a lot that you could do for kids that had any kind of differences. And so already, you're probably going to be crying if it starts like that. I mean, it has its humorous moments, thank God, but there's just so many different things that he goes through. I think one of the things that made me sad the most was when he got the bullet in his buttocks and he got his mail. It was all the letters he had written to Jenny the whole time he was in the military, and they were all returned to sender.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I know when my son was in basic training, yes, every day of the 9 weeks he was in basic training, I wrote him a letter. And of course, they only had so much time that they could respond back, and there was 2 phone calls, and everybody was making phone calls at the same time, and you couldn't hear him. And it wasn't until graduation, but you just think about everything Forrest had been through, all the bullying, and with his initial handicap, and may not be a smart man, Jenny, but I know what love is. Oh my goodness.
Dear God, make me a bird, make me fly far, far away.
Yeah. Oh, there's just so many different things. Yeah. Him losing his best friend in the military, Bubba, and him carrying on what his dream and legacy was for his family, and the him and Jenny after Jenny leaving him time after time after time, letting him down, she comes back to him, but she knows she's dying of AIDS. He doesn't even know he has a son until he's a good 7 years old or more. The whole movie, you feel like an emotional roller coaster.
But do you remember the name of the son? His
name was
Forrest.
His name was Forrest. His name's Forrest. Yeah. And Forrest didn't get it.
But I'm Forrest.
But I'm, yeah. You have any others?
Oh, wow,
She crumbled up her list.
I have other ones that I marked out because I didn't have much to talk about them. Let's see. I have 8 Mile. Uh, um,
There's a lot of movies that, you know, made me cry, but I've only seen them one time, and it's been so long ago
yeah.
that I didn't feel like that I could really comment on them, but that's one of them.
Yeah. I have Sweet Home Alabama. I don't know what one makes me cry. I really don't. And then I have La La Land. I have no idea what to say.
What is it about Sweet Home Alabama?
I don't know. I really don't know. That one just makes me emotional.
I've seen that movie many, many times, and she finally saw it, and I still have mixed emotions about that movie. For the majority of the movie, the ex is a jerk, and
Yeah.
and we know the fiance is the wonderful guy from Grey's Anatomy, Patrick Dempsey, and and even his character was awesome. His mother would not have been a great mother-in-law to have, but man, I felt sad for him. I don't know. That one, yeah, I have mixed emotions about that one. I don't know if I would say that one would make me cry. For me, they didn't develop enough of the positive that they had from the past for me to be like, ah, that's just me. But anyways, Star is Born. Typically, I try to stay away from anything that is remakes. But I will say that Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper did an awesome job recreating something that was done so well. And I grew up with the Chris Christopherson and Barbara Streisand version. My parents talked about it constantly. That was one of the few times I stayed with my grandparents overnight so they could go to a movie on a date. And my dad so loved all the scenes of Chris Christopherson with him and his motorcycle on the stage and whatnot. But I mean, even that was a remake where Judy Garland was the original. But I haven't seen that one yet. But even though I give kudos to Bradley Cooper and Lady Gaga trying to give a little difference, and their own oomph and modernism to that film, I still say the one with Barbara Streisand and Chris Christopherson is one of my all-time favorites. And the song that she is playing for him on the piano, and he helps her piece it together, like putting words with it. And one of his big popular songs is Watch Closely Now. And after he dies and she's up on stage and has made it big, she has a version in tribute to him of what they created at the piano and her own version of Watch Closely Now. And I mean, now from the time that he gets in that car and cranks it up and she's still laying in the bed in the cabin out in the middle of the desert or whatever, I'm already crying. And crying through, the whole time while she's on stage. I have a couple others. I don't know how quickly. Oh, we are running big time and a little long. I have two others I was going to mention to Passion of the Christ, just to see what our Lord went through. It was such a well done movie. I was a little frustrated in the beginning with the subtitles, but I quickly got into it. It was just seeing Jesus's life just so like right there and what he went through. How could we not love the Lord and appreciate what he did with her or did for us? And yeah, guys, want to hear my thoughts on Eternal Sunshine?
Oh.
2
pages long.
Yeah. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. That's in my top 10 also.
Oh.
Guys, please tell me in the comments which movies or TV shows, it could be commercials, what has just brought you down to tears and you haven't understood why, or maybe you do, and where do you think it comes from? Is it something from your childhood or something you saw?
Something you witnessed?
Exactly. Let's just start with this as a icebreaker and getting to know one another. And I don't know, I'm being vulnerable here saying that I cried over E.T. still to this day. It don't matter how many times I see it, but I am glad that my daughter Zoe got to be with me. She's been in a couple of YouTube videos. She is my youngest. All the others are all grown up. She was my turning 40 baby, and she has been in a few videos, but this is not a family blog channel, and I don't want her life on display.
Yeah.
So, like a lot of channels do, it's hard enough going through these years and puberty and all the different things. You don't need other people eyeballing it and tearing it apart and so we're gonna be just very careful about what things we include her in. But with my Facebook lives that I did before I started my YouTube channel, I would include her quite a bit, and my audience always loved it when she was a part of it, because we do have this special connection. She was my turning 40 baby. My oldest was almost 16 and was getting his braces off and his driver's license. His wife said I was pregnant again. That blew my mind. I wanted it so badly. I love children and wanted another one, but I just didn't think it would happen. I had a different husband. The first one had very low testosterone. We had huge infertility issues and whatnot. I had gone through an ED for quite a few years and didn't know if, even though I was healthy at that time, if that was causing me to not get pregnant. But my second husband, it was only 2 weeks after we'd been married a month. She was meant to be. So, yeah, she'll be included in videos that she feels comfortable with and comfortable with sharing what she wants to share. But otherwise, no, I want her to have a normal childhood and not having people picking her life apart and whatnot. I'm not judging families that do family blogs. There's some that are very well done, but just like with child actors, they're not meant to handle that. They're not emotionally ready for it. She did not say, I'm making a channel.
Yeah.
I'm the one that said, I'm making a channel.
Yes.
And so if I bring up my older kids or my bonus kids, it's only going to be in reference to things that are normal childhood milestones, like the monster spray thing. Most kids go through a thing where they're scared of something under the bed or in the closet or whatever, and how to deal with things like that. But otherwise, it's not right of me to include any of their personal life or issues or challenges or, even accomplishments without their permission, them actually saying it. So I hope you guys understand that. God bless you today and all your tomorrows. And I hope that you guys will jump into this ladies chat. I'm excited about it. There is so much we can cover. This channel is all about complete health, spiritual health, mental health, physical health, fitness, nutrition, sexual health, relationship health.
Everything.
So, yeah. Typically, like, if it had been one of the other topics, she would not have been a part of that video.
No.
Let's her be 11.
Let me be 11.
Yeah. She can be 11 while she's 11, and later on, if she wants to include things, but I'm not going to push her. And thank you guys so much for understanding that. But she is my precious princess, the youngest princess. I love you guys. Have a great day. Please comment, like, let me know what you would like to see on this channel and the things that you would like to discuss. If you haven't checked out the fitness, please look at it. We just finished up a 31-day plank challenge. There's going to be more activity, physical, burning fat, getting weight off that's stubborn after menopause and so forth. You guys tell me what you'd like to see. Not only am I an experienced mom and been there, but I'm a registered nurse, nutritionist, and fitness expert. So hopefully, if anything, I can help you solve some kind of problem you might have. And if not, I know people that will join this community for support, fun, friendship, just being able to reach out. Our age group is so underserved on platforms, especially during this quarantine. We need to have ladies' time where we could talk about the things that are on our minds and be able to talk about it, vent about it, not feel bad, comfort, love, support, pray for one another. Wendy, Michelle, and Zoe, see you soon. Thank you.
I dare you to fix me. I'm crossing the line again, falling on my knees. No stranger to pain.